What's up, muchachos? So I'm a huge fan of the concept of el que no pregunta, no aprende. Now, for those of you who don't speak Spanish, in English that means those who don't ask, don't learn. Recently, Joseph Nicolas sent me this question. How do I keep momentum going when things are going good? Now, this question kind of also applies to the other side of the spectrum. If I'm stuck in a rut, where the hell do I find the courage, the happiness, whatever the hell it is, to keep going? So, when I was about 9 years old, I was in the 3rd grade, and my mother and I, we hit a very, very rough, very rough financial patch, and long story short, we ended up homeless. Now, through the grace of God, the universe, whatever you guys subscribe to, we were able to, through a friend of hers, find a van for us to stay in. After a few months, things stayed bad, they weren't getting amazing, but the thing is that my mom eventually hit that snap point of like, fuck, I gotta get us the fuck out of here. Every night I would notice she would do the same thing. She would kind of just pray to herself. You know, I guess now that I'm older, I know that some of those things are known as affirmations. She pulls me aside. We're about to get in the van and she tells me, what are you happy about? Did something make you happy today? And that was the beginning of her teaching me about gratitude. So after that, every night before we went to sleep, every morning when we woke up, we would start off with, what are we grateful for? And, you know, it was through memory, so of course, so sometimes we miss a few things, but pretty much every night, every morning, we'd start with, you know, I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. It was very helpful. I mean, at that age, I wanted stuff, toys, etc. So a few weeks before my birthday, it's wintertime now, I get very sick. And once my mom finally gives in, because she sees that I'm not getting better, she takes me to see a doctor. Now, my mom doesn't speak English at the time. I speak English, broken English, but I start to translate for her. And the doctor's telling us that, you know, I'm very malnourished, that I will continue to remain sick and get sicker if I don't do something about it. Now, my mom is sitting there, just tears coming out her eyes. She feels guilty. Through this time, you know, I'm a kid. I see my mom upset, crying, etc. So I'm there doing like my feeble attempt at trying to make her feel better. And I'm like, Mom, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry. You know, I'll eat my food. I promise. I'll eat my vegetables. Now, as we're leaving the clinic, my mom is, you know, frantic. She's still sad, and she hasn't exactly felt better. But I get very excited, and I'm like, Mom, but we have something else to add to the gratitude list. You know, you were worried about the doctor, but we were able to come here. We were able to get seen, and because I know English, we were able to talk to the doctor. So let's add that to the gratitude. And she kind of gives me this look like, sure, whatever. You know, she's kind of going through it. A few days later, through a friend of hers, we're actually able to get an application to work at McDonald's. Now, because I speak English, I help her fill out the application. I'm able to enjoy all the nuggets that I want, and she also gets to make a paycheck so that she can then take that paycheck, buy some stuff to resell, and make us more money. After a few weeks that have gone by, I'm enjoying all the nuggets that I want. My mother is starting to save money to buy these products to resell. As she makes more money to resell these items, our gratitude list gets bigger. And my mom, of course, adds to her gratitude list because she's over here thinking, well, I have the ability to save money that I'm going to need to flip it. And like magic, I mean, at least us, like magic, we're able to come up with the money to rent a place. Cleaning lobbies, she was able to buy products. She was able to buy those products and then resell those products with some of my help, make that money, and before we knew it, the time had passed. No more van. Still have my nuggets. And I will never forget when we first moved into this place because it happened to have a 3rd bedroom. Bonus perk, because then as we're doing our gratitude at the end of the night, we're both having that moment of, oh, we're grateful for this, we're grateful for that. And my mom out loud says, holy crap, I have a storage room now. I don't have to keep them in my purse. So that 3rd bedroom became our storage room. As time progressed, that 3rd bedroom also became a rental. We would rent out that bedroom to other people that didn't have the credit or the language or the ability to rent a place on their own. Now, as the money came in, so did the gratitude. We kept the gratitude going. We just kept adding to the list. And then one morning, as we're having our gratitude talk, the person that had rented that bedroom tells us, I want to thank you so much for renting this room to me. You have no idea how life-changing it's been. I'm so grateful. And my mom is sitting there eating her oatmeal, drinking her coffee, and she's like, fuck. Well, she doesn't say fuck. She says, puta. And she looks at me and she says, how can we get more bedrooms? And 2 years later, my mom does her first sublease where she rents an apartment and rents it out to someone else, keeps the difference and keeps that machine running. But it wasn't until I got older that I started to really appreciate what the hell had just happened there. Since we were constantly auditing our gratefulness, it helped to clarify things. When things were bad, we were grateful and we knew what was at our disposal. When things were getting better, we were still grateful. and we always kept tabs on what was at our disposal. And the second point that it really taught me is that fact that, look, we all have those moments where we feel like we're in a rut, we have low self-esteem, we feel low, we feel upset. But let's also face it, if you know that there's a way that you can fix this, it kind of does boost your self-esteem a little bit. You start to feel a little bit more confident. It's the ability to employ this kind of critical thinking that will always keep you ahead of the game. It's what kept us from never having to go back to that. And for that lesson, I'm forever grateful. Stay blessed, muchachos.